Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day. Speak up and be bold.
My name is Onelio. Nice to meet you.
And you as well.
Good connections and, good to have you here.
Well, I'm not there, but thank you for the sentiment.
One of my questions is about the moon.
Yes.
I connect a lot with the moon and...
All right. Are you strongly in touch with your feminine side?
Yes. And I was wondering, how is it that the vibrations of the moon affect my body, or like the...
You mean, how do you choose to be affected by it?
Correct.
Well, thank you. Glad I passed. Well, there are many things happening right now with your moon. Most recently, we explained also that aside from the natural vibrations of the reflectivity and the polarized light coming from your moon based on the sunlight bouncing off of it, and the effect it may have to put you in touch with mystery, with the deep parts of your feminine side, with all sorts of different aspects of your consciousness, it is now also acting as a lens and a focusing device for energy coming from our planet based on the 3 artificial satellites around our world that are beaming energy to your planet as well as to our planet to help create stronger linkages between our worlds. So the moon is being used as a kind of a lens to focus this energy and allow for more coherence and cohesiveness to occur between our respective global families.
So that makes our connection stronger to
anyone who chooses to match that frequency and explore that aspect of their consciousness. Yes.
I see. So
it is what we typically refer to as the epsilon frequency.
Would the moon be double-sided? You know how here on Earth it rotates and we only see
one side.
Yes.
It's in gravitational lock. Yes. This is what allows it to act as the focusing lens so efficiently, because only one side constantly faces your planet as it rotates around your planet.
I see.
It is, in some senses, while a natural body, artificially positioned. Its orbit has been balanced and gauged precisely by the idea of the addition of certain technologies within it that allow it to maintain a balance for your world. And this is what we are taking advantage of by sending the epsilon frequency through it.
Okay, I see. And then my other question was, how could I find out what type of hybrid am I?
Well, you're all hybridized. You all have Anunnaki genetics within you. And the Anunnaki genetics were already also a mixture of other kinds of genetics. So the genetics that you most strongly all contain, aside from the Anunnaki, are those that are connected to the Sirius star system, the Orion star system, and the Pleiadian star system overall, with a little bit of Arcturus spice thrown on top from another direction.
And all those genes, we could activate them at once, or do we have to?
They will usually come on a bit at a time as you progress through the idea of allowing more of yourself to be expressed through your identity as you follow your excitement and act on it and raise your vibration. They will almost never activate all at once, although there might be moments when more of them activate than other moments, giving you a glimpse. And some of the things that we're talking about today in terms of focusing on the egg and making yourself more slippery in the levels of your consciousness may also have some effect in activating more of them all at once and allowing that activation to remain rather than snapping back to pre-activation moments. Did that make sense in your language?
Yes.
All right.
Is there any type of vegetation or plants that we could consume in order to...
We will leave that up to your own imagination to attract into your reality.
I see. Whatever we feel that our genes need.
Whatever you are attracted to that is natural in that way that will provide that service is up to you to determine whether or not it will work for you.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Oh, all right, thank you.
Nice conversation. Hope to talk again.
All right, thank you.
Good day, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I had a question regarding something you mentioned last night about
Yeah, speak up, speak up.
about humans activating now more of their original DNA.
Yes, that's
coming
what we
from-
just talked about a moment ago as well.
Coming from the Anunnaki. So is it true that there are now humans that are changing their cells from a carbon to crystalline base and also activating...
Generally, yes, there is more silicon in your system now.
And also activating the 13th strand of DNA?
The third.
The third. The 13th is what...
The 13th is on a non-physical level.
Right.
You are making more connections to the idea of the non-physical form of DNA, but in terms of your physical reality, you're only capable of actually manifesting physically 3 strands of DNA. Otherwise, if you had other strands, you wouldn't be in any way, shape, or form human.
Right. So the 13th that we're activating now that we didn't have before is on a non-physical level?
Yes.
Okay. And is it true that there are human beings now that are in more of a completion of that process?
There are a few on your planet who are exhibiting something farther along the path, yes. Most of them are in what you would call indigenous societies, although some are not. There are a few, very few, a few people on your planet who are several hundred years old, even fewer that are actually in excess of 1,000. They mostly do not mingle with the rest of your society. Those that need to find them, find them. Most of you will not find them for quite a while. Nevertheless, they are acting as anchor points, holding the energy for all of you, knowing that you are heading down similar paths or not, but that those that are will be guided by the beacons that they are in radiating certain frequencies into more and more and more of yourselves.
And is it true that once we have humans have made the transition into it's called
fourth density reality.
Yeah.
Yes.
That we then have access to, it's been called a divine blueprint.
Well, you have access right now. It's just that you're becoming more conscious of the access that you have, and therefore you're more capable of experiencing it consciously. So yes, it's all about becoming more aware of what you already have connections to and expressing those connections in a more aware state, rather than doing it unconsciously in ways that aren't always necessarily representative of what you prefer. That's the difference. You're actually becoming fully human.
Which is that what you were discussing previously with Homo galacticus?
Yes.
Would be what we're becoming from?
Yes.
Homo sapien.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Bashar.
Good day to you.
Okay. My first question is, can you just distinguish what is that fine line between following your highest excitement and being irresponsible? So, for example, like you just want to lay in bed all day because that's exciting. At what? No, but seriously, what is the?
Yes.
Yeah.
The fine line is based on your ability to discern more clearly the difference between an action taken that is really representative of excitement and an action taken based on anxiety that is being disguised as excitement. So the more you can tell the difference between excitement and anxiety, the more you are willing to not be in denial about a fear-based belief that you may be holding on to, the more you are willing to allow all your beliefs to be conscious and not unconscious, the easier it will be for you to tell the difference between an action taken out of anxiety, which would usually then express itself in some way, shape, or form that might be akin to irresponsibility, and your ability to actually act responsibly, your ability to respond, responsibility, in the idea of alignment with your true self. So you have to have honest self-evaluation and more conscious awareness of any definitions within you that are out of alignment with your truth. And when you do that, you'll know the difference.
Okay.
You have to also look holistically. Yes?
Yeah.
This is what we're saying, is the whole picture. It's not just about you. It's about all the interactions that you also co-create in your reality that are reflections of you to a great degree, but also serve as reflections for others. So the idea is to know that you are as powerful as you need to be to experience whatever it is that is relevant for you to experience without having to harm yourself or anyone else in order to experience it. And therefore, the idea of acting responsibly automatically contains the holistic picture of what's the best for all concerned, because you know that the best for all concerned would automatically contain what's best for you because you're part of the all. So you don't have to come from the individual point of view of me, what's best for me first, because if you are coming from the point of view of what's best for all, you know that you're automatically taken care of.
That's great.
Does that help?
Yeah, that helps. Then my other question is, you know how you said we have a bunch of shards from our oversoul? So
Yes,
are these
yes,
like
yes.
other people here? Or
Yes, they can be, or they can be in what you call other time frames, or
Other
even other
dimensions.
civilizations.
Okay.
Past, present, future, whatever you wish to say it, it's all an illusion, but nevertheless, because they all exist at the same time, but you may perceive them as being in different time frames or different dimensions of reality.
Okay, just wanted to clarify that. And then my other question, I forgot to ask you, how many hybrid children do I have? Because I asked you if I do have some, but how many?
Why do you want to know that?
Because I feel like I have a lot,
What does a lot mean?
50 or something.
Why do you think you have 50 or something?
I don't want to tell you.
Why not?
Because I'm always having sex in my dreams.
So,
With these other entities and stuff. That's
Yes.
like happening all the time. That's the only reason why. That's why I was curious. I'm sorry. I didn't want to share that my parents are here.
and yet you did anyway. So now your secret is out. Now you are going to be known as the space slut. Is that what you were afraid of?
Yeah, probably.
All right, well, don't worry about it. You're not a slut.
Okay. But that's why I was curious. Like, I'm like, if that's happening all the time, I wonder
It's
how
not that
many...
it's happening all the time. It's that you are simply allowing yourself to remember the times that it has happened. But you are allowing yourself to stay in that state and not progress beyond it for some reason. You're getting stuck in the memory of when it did happen, but not going beyond it. So you're replaying the moments that it happened over and over again, making it seem as if it happened more often than it did.
Oh.
You understand?
Okay.
So you need to go beyond the idea. What would stop you from going beyond the idea? Is there something that you're afraid to discover about your part in the hybridization agenda?
Maybe. I never even looked at it that way.
Do you have any trepidation about these experiences?
Not really. Well, okay, I have moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, my DNA is combining with these other entities.
And?
I mean, that's kind of trippy. It's kind of like, wow, is that really
Yes.
happening? You know, it's a little bit.
Do you feel that if more and more people know that this may be occurring in your life, that they will think less of you?
Well, yeah, I noticed even people who are open they have a lot of fear around aliens, anything that's alien. Like, I noticed even like the new age hippie
Yes.
people, you bring up like the conversation of aliens and they're like, oh, no, I don't want to hear that.
All right.
I just noticed that interaction. So then I'm kind of Look, I'm all into aliens. I'm extremely excited about aliens.
Apparently.
That's why I'm here with you. But
Apparently some of them are into you as well.
I'm very excited about it, but
I guess so.
yeah. But
Nevertheless,
yeah, nevertheless,
the idea that is holding you back is what you think others will think of you.
yeah, it is.
So,
Yes.
you can let that go because it's your life.
Okay.
We appreciate your participation in this agenda because that participation from those people who participate has given rise to our civilization. So we appreciate and thank you for your part in
welcome.
helping to create who we are.
You are welcome.
The idea, again, is that many people will still hold on to fear in their relationship to the idea of extraterrestrial beings.
Yeah.
And some of this is part and parcel of the idea of the fears they're holding on to within themselves that when exposed to a higher frequency come to the surface and force them to face those ideas that they're not ready to face. So it's not even that they're actually that afraid of us. They're afraid of aspects of themselves coming out.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Then really there's nothing for you to be afraid of because you know you are in a place where you can see that the fear that they may choose to sometimes project on you really has nothing more to do than the fear they have about understanding more of themselves.
That helps. That helps. Sometimes
All right.
it's okay.
So does this help you?
Of course, you always help me.
Oh, all right. Well, you always help yourself, really. But we are happy to help you help yourself.
Well, thank you for helping me help myself.
Oh, all right. You're welcome.
And then my other question.
One moment. 15.
Oh, okay, it's not 50. It's still a lot. So, okay, my other question is, you know how dolphins and whales are connected to the planet of Sirius? Do different animals have other connections like that? Like, for example, dogs or cats? I was just
Dogs are
wondering.
also somewhat connected to the idea of the vibration of the Sirius vibration because you call the constellation the dog star.
Oh, yeah. What about cats?
Cats are another story. Cats are strongly connected to the processes of Orion,
Orion.
the processes of Arcturus. There are some connections to Sirius, but there are connections to other dimensions and realms, some of which you don't even know about yet.
Ooh, no wonder they look more alien, like their being is more alien. Can you just,
Yes, it is.
can
In more ways than you know.
Can I ask you about my cat, about like her and I, like our
Yes,
connection? Like, do we
yes.
have connections in our past lives? Because I feel
Well,
like,
you know past lives is an illusion.
I mean, not in
But I
other
understand
dimensions.
what you mean.
In other dimensions.
You do. Most of you have connections with animals in other dimensions.
Okay, because she's very evolved. I feel like she's more evolved than.
All the animals are more evolved than you all are.
Well, no, I'm saying more evolved than other animals.
More evolved than human.
Well, I know.
The
That's a
idea,
given.
in many ways, is that's because they're specialists, not generalists.
Oh.
So they exhibit all of their intelligence in a specific focus. All they need to be is a cat. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And therefore, all their intelligence goes into being a cat. So they don't have to always think the way you do, know the things you know, because you're a generalist as a human. That's your definition. So they exhibit a very high degree of intelligence. All animals do, because all they have to be is what they are. And they are specialized in that way as reflectors for you. That doesn't mean they don't have their own understanding of their own lives and their own purposes and their own choices, but what they are is highly focused. And therefore they exhibit all of their intelligence in that expression. And they don't need to generalize it. Although some animals are learning to generalize as a reflection for you, because some generalization, as in with some cats and dogs and dolphins and whales, will lure you into more of yourself as well. So they perform that function too, by being generalized when they need to be, but that's just an aspect of their specialized focus. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So, the adventures that you may have with your cat, which of course isn't always a cat in other dimensions,
Yeah.
as you understand
Yeah.
it, do happen. You go on many adventures with your animals in other dimensions, and they take on many other forms in other dimensions that may not even really be what you would recognize as an animal.
Cool. And then
Cats are cool.
they really are. I
Dogs are hot.
I used
Cats
to be
are
a
cool.
dog person, but now I'm more of a cat person.
No.
I love all animals, but
Yes, yes, yes. But we understand that many of them will function as permission slips for you at different points in your life. And because permission slips can sometimes change as you change, then you may shift to the reflection from a different animal in a different way, because that's what serves you as a reflection at that moment. So, yes, dogs are the sun, cats are the moon.
it's so cool how you have the answer for everything. And I wish I could just talk to you all the time.
Well, I do not have the answer for everything.
But you
I only
almost
have the
everything.
answers for what I need to know in the moment.
Okay. Well, that's a good distinction.
Why, thank you.
One last thing, it's for my friend.
Yes.
What's happening to a person when they have schizophrenia?
It is an inability to integrate the different aspects of their personality in a coherent way based on what the mass consensus needs to experience.
Interesting. And can you say anything about multiple sclerosis? What causes that? Or is that...
There are many different causes, but again, most of this starts not only with an energetic choice to experience a certain thing that is symbolic of certain kinds of energy states, but also, of course, with the idea of the conditions on your world.
Okay. Thanks, Q, Bashar.
You are welcome.
I love you so much.
Pleasant dreams.